Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Hafiz bin Mazhar. My metric number is 051763. For today, I will lead you with our introduction first. In today's globalized world, corporation must have access to global pools of capital as well as attract and retain the best human capital for all over the world. In such a scenario, a corporation will be unable to succeed unless it embraces and demonstrates ethical behavior. Concern about good corporate governance have grown exponentially since the discovery of India's largest ever corporate fraud and governance failure at Satyam Computer Service Limited. The rapid economic growth that corporate India has experienced, as well as high-profile governance failure scams since the 1990s, have highlighted the need for Indian companies to adopt corporate governance practices and standards that are consistent with international principles and standards. A number of studies in India and abroad have found that well-managed companies are noticed and rewarded by markets and investors. The issue of corporate governance have arisen primarily as a result of the increasing importance of corporates, a corporation in national economies and their interaction with international agencies and institutions. The Indian economy has gradually transitioned from a control to a market-driven economy. Corporate governance is becoming increasingly important in today's ever-changing and never-ending business environment. Furthermore, the regulation of the EEC, GATT, and WTO have contributed to a growing awareness of good governance practices. Corporate governance is one of the most prominent issues in today's business and financial world. Almost all of the world major economies' legal systems are attempting to standardize and enforce prudent corporate governance norms. In the Satyam case in India, it was observed how well-known corporate leaders, financial regulation, and world-renowned auditors can manipulate the system. This is not only destroyed the wealth of the company and its stakeholders, but it also harmed a nation, economy, and reputation.
My name is Muhammad Hisham bin Muhammad Azlan. My matrix number is 051223. Now I will talk about our problem statement and objective. Corporate scandals in recent years, some of which are still unfolding, have involved a high incidence of unacceptable activities by managers expropriating a firm resources at the ultimate cost of stakeholders. In the Satyam case in India, it was observed how well-known corporate leaders, financial regulators, and world-renowned auditors can manipulate the system. This not only destroys the wealth of the company and its stakeholders, but it also harms a country's economy and reputation. The high-profile corporate governance failure scams, such as the stock market scam, the UTI scam, the Ketan Perih scam, and the Satyam scam, which were heavily criticized by shareholders, highlighted the need to make corporate governance in India transparent, as it has a significant impact on the country's development. As a result, corporate governance have become a topic of discussion, as well as a well-established regulator and academic abbreviations. As a result, the researcher decided to conduct research on the topic of corporate governance, issue, challenges, and opportunities. The following are the major objectives of this report. First, a true understanding of the concept of corporate governance is required. Second, to compare the practices of corporate governance in Eastern and Western countries. Third, investigate the issues and opportunities associated with corporate governance practices. Fourth, to examine the corporate governance challenges that Indian corporations face. Fifth, make recommendations based on the findings.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Syarhazan bin Muhammad Nazri, matric number 050619. For today, I will be presenting to you with our discussion. Firstly, it shows corporate governance is complex and sometimes challenging, and it only gets more complicated as the world goes forward and change at a faster pace. Many huge firms have dominating influence over company matters without sufficient accountability or monitoring by their board of directors. Lost and Machiavelli right. The principal agent problem was developed by Eugene Fama and Michael Jensen in the 1980s as a way of understanding corporate governance. The corporation is viewed as a series of contracts between 1977 and 1997. Corporate directors' responsibility in the United States increased beyond their traditional legal obligation of loyalty to the firm and its shareholders. In terms of corporate governance, there are a number of issues to consider: questionable ethics, top-level behavior, aggressive earning management, insufficient internal control, risk management, and accounting and reporting problem afflicted a whole and run and welcome. Key corporate governance challenge, according to report, can range from highly strategic concern like company strategy, IT oversight and innovation, board composition and risk oversight, to more immediate ones like crisis management and shareholder agitation. In this context, the following is Dilip Kumar Sen's assessment of the general situation in the Indian corporate sector. Companies are frequently run as though the managing directors or CEO's personal freedom were at stake. Those in charge are exclusively concerned with the interests of major owners. Any advantage to other stockholders is incidental. Majority of directors are unaware that they are agents of shareholders and their position of one of trust and faith. No amount of regulation can enforce the actual spirit of strong corporate governance procedure in a firm unless it emanates from within organization, the author concluded.
My name is Muhammad Nur Jayat bin Muhammad Jun, metric number 049842. For today, I will be continuing presenting with our discussion. So secondly is opportunities. In corporate governance, a board of directors is supposed to perform an important role. The board is in charge of CEO selection and succession. To carry out their duties, board usually have many committees. According to McKinsey's Global Investor Opinion Survey on 2002, 80% of respondents would pay a premium for well-governed companies. According to a survey that looked at the performance of 110 companies, organizations with superior corporate governance perform better. The following is the answer from ICSI response. The adoption of effective governance process provide the organization with stability and growth. A solid governance system, as evident by the implementation of sound corporate governance standards, instill trust in current and potential stakeholders. Investors are willing to pay a higher premium for a company that follows internationally accepted corporate governance standard. Okay, so the next discussion is about challenge. So, corporate governance is a multi-dimensional term that influences finance, risk management, economics, ethics, and law. Because corporate governance is built on a variety of disciplines, it must be capable of dealing with issues that arise in any of its dimensions. Around the year 1883, business organization became cognizant of corporate governance. Various scandals rocked the Indian corporate world during this time. Lack of trust, transparency and disclosure, appointment and accountability, control resulted in ultimate corruption in management and mismanagement of many organization operation. There are a handful that are very important and have a significant impact on the organization governance process. First one is differentiating the board and management role, then deciding the board composition and separating the role of CEO and chairperson. Whatever corporate governance system adopted, one thing remains constant. The board of directors has been recognized as the heart of the system, and board activities have been considered as the most significant governance practices. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Aiman bin Anwar, metric number 049996. The last for today, conclusion. Excellent rules are like good fence in that they help to keep societies in order. You will have an order corporation if your rules are well defined, clear, fair, and most importantly, follow through on. There are many suggestions of the OECD that are more relevant. Firstly, board members should be well informed and they should operate ethically and in good faith with due diligence and care in the best interest of the firm and its shareholders. Secondly, review and direct business strategy, goal formulation, main plans of action, risk management, capital plans, and annual budgets, and then supervise large-scale purchases. Number 4, key executive are chosen, compensated, monitored, replaced, and succession planning is overseen. Number 5, align key executive and board remuneration or compensation package with the company's and shareholders' long-term objective. And then ensure a proper and transparent nomination and election process for board members. Number 7, ensure the accounting and financial reporting processes of the company are accurate, including an independent audit. Number 8, ascertain that adequate internal control systems are in place. Last but not least, ensure that the disclosure and communication process are followed. Lastly, where board committees are formed, its mandate, composition and working process should be clearly defined and made public. The majority of the above ideas have been codified in laws and regulations governing corporations and securities trading, or expressed in stock exchange listing guidelines. Corporate governance is continuing to shift toward a more shareholder-centric approach. If you want to practice effective corporate governance, build your framework and then live inside it, as the saying goes. That's all from us, Group 8. Thank you.